What is one thing that you wish FPoA did to help you accomplish your goals for the week? We set things out as district staff. Our role is raise funds to network the church and launch clubs.
Yep.
Right. Those are the big three things. And what is that one thing that you wish, man, I wish we had this, or we did this, or the team at First Priority could provide that. Oftentimes it's one of those God things that when you say it, we're all like, oh yeah, we were starting to think that way, but we haven't gotten there yet. Let's do that, right?
Yep.
So
working with the local church to take the hope of Christ to every student in the United States. This is First Priority. Now here are your hosts, Steve Cherico and Brad Schelling.
hello, everybody. Welcome to the First Priority podcast. My name is Brad Schelling, and I'm here today with Kristina. Welcome.
Thank you. It's great to be here today.
And welcome to everybody listening in. It's exciting because the fall is around the corner. I know, what do they say in Iowa? It's hotter than a popcorn fart. I don't know if that's appropriate or not for a ministry podcast.
I'm not from Iowa, and we didn't say those things.
You didn't say those
Oregon.
things? What did you say in Oregon when it was really hot?
I'm not really sure. We
Not
just
really
would
sure?
get in the pool and cool off.
That's a really good thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't talk about popcorn or farting.
Nope.
Okay, sounds good. But fall is around the corner.
Yes.
Thank goodness, not just for the weather,
Mm-hmm.
but for First Priority clubs that are starting back up.
Yes, for
So,
sure.
yeah, we're going to talk about that today.
We are going to talk about that today.
Awesome. Looking forward to it. But we need an announcement first. What's our announcement today?
Yes, so fall conference is coming up in October, and we want to make sure that you register. Early bird pricing ends August 31st. So if you want to save some money, make sure you register by August 31st. On September 1st, pricing will increase. So get your registrations in. You can go to our website and scroll down to the bottom, and you can click events, and you will find the registration link.
Nice.
So
Where's the fall conference this year?
it is in Nashville, Tennessee.
The Embassy Suites.
Yes.
The beautiful Embassy Suites down in Cool Springs.
And we've got some great things planned for you guys.
It is. I am looking forward to it.
Me too.
I don't know that we've started to reveal anything yet, but we got to go tour one of the places we're going to go, maybe the only other place we're going to go, because we're only together for like 48 hours. So it's not a huge amount of time, but it's going to be comparable to when we went to the Opry and got to go backstage. It's
I'm excited.
It's a pretty cool moment. So
Yep.
yeah, I guess I will reveal. Can I reveal that we're having Hattie B's?
Oh, sure. You
Yeah.
can reveal that.
Hattie B's while we're out and about close to downtown Nashville. I'm going to start saying too much, but we will be having Hattie B's. So come on, join us. It'll be a good time.
Yep.
It is the one time a year that most First Priority staff, directors get around each other. I know a lot of people talk to each other all year round, but yeah, it's a good time just to be in the room for 48 hours, Monday afternoon. Yeah, it's October 23 to Wednesday morning. We usually
And
break
we are
right before lunch.
starting a little bit early this year.
We are. Yep.
Make sure you get your flights in a little earlier.
Yep. I think, well, I don't have the schedule memorized, so I shouldn't start throwing stuff out there. So just come on, join us, register, whether you're a campus coach, a volunteer. You've got that Monday to Wednesday. You can come join us in Nashville. We'd love to have you.
Yep.
Cool. Well, let's jump into reporting and it's reporting and feedback is what we're calling this one because, we love what happens out there. We ended last year with 889 clubs in 600. You know the exact number? It's not a test because I really don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It's been a long summer. I need to go look that up.
I know the other numbers.
Yeah, with 9,700 students coming to know Jesus, it was just a tremendous year. And I'm excited for this year to get back started again. And so just a couple weeks ago, we did the Epic training video. That's out there. Epic Foundations is up.
Yep.
We added some material to that. So instead of just seeing Grace and I talking about Epic, you can now see the PowerPoint and the pages and some graphics to go with it. And so the video's been updated. If you haven't seen that recently, take a look at that training video and your club should get going pretty strong this fall.
Yep.
I'm
It's a
excited
good
for
training.
it. It is a good training. Yep. If I do say so myself. Thank you for that compliment. That's the nicest thing you've said to me all week.
Yeah, well, gotta say something once in a while.
Nice. You're the next new full-time host because Steve doesn't ever
Okay.
say things nice to me on the
True.
podcast. So thank you
That
for
is
that.
very true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No
You
truer
guys-
word has ever been spoken.
Yeah, you guys have some fun on here for sure.
Is that what you call it? Fun?
Yeah, kind of.
I would call it fun too. It is a good time. It is a good time. Well, as they get clubs up and running, they get their Epic. Obviously, they can reach out. They can talk to us. But finding out what's going on in those clubs and communicating is key, right?
Right.
889 clubs. Yeah, we can go on an entire year, get busy in what we're doing here in the national office. You can all get busy out there doing what you're doing in the field, and we can never talk to each other. So we've set up some systems, some things in place in order to kind of bridge that gap, right?
Right.
So if you're a club coach, a teacher, sponsor, student leader, we'd love to know what you're doing on a week in and week out basis, right? So what is the means for that to happen, or the system we have for that in the office to help communicate that?
Yeah, so we use a system called Smartsheet, and that sends a weekly email to those campus coaches, whoever is in charge
To one
of
club leader of each club. Yep.
the club leader of the club, so that they can let us know what's going on in the club.
Yep.
They let us know how many students were there. They let us know how many were in attendance at that club. They also let us know how the club went. So maybe there's a God story that happened, something that you just want to share that we can share with others. Or just talk about something else that maybe happened in the club that we need to know about.
Yep.
And then also we just ask if you need anything from us.
That's right.
So we want to be able to give you the resources that you need. So we ask if there's anything that you need from us.
It's a two-way street, right? It's not just you telling us the good stuff. It's making sure that you have what you need to continue to lead your club, things of that nature. So if you are in a first priority area, some of that may look a little bit different. So if your staff in your local area as a club coach or faculty sponsor instructs you something differently to that, obviously follow them. But most first priority areas are using that system. It should be an automated email that comes in. If you're not getting anything from anybody, connect with Kristina at fpofamerica.com and she can get you set up.
Yep.
Do you like me throwing that out there for you?
Sure. Kristina with a K.
That is true. Kristina. Yep. Sweet. Sounds good. So, and for our staff members, so chapter staff, district staff, we ask them once a month, right?
Right.
To collaborate that information, to gather the numbers. Sometimes you can automate different things, but I think it's a good opportunity once a month just to take a breath, take a Friday before the end of the week, before the end of the month, and say, what did God do this month in our clubs? What do the numbers look like? And even as far as that goes, to look at where the numbers are coming from. So some of the things are the same, right? The numbers we ask for, what are we asking for? And I'll finish my thought after that.
Well, the first thing we ask for are the number of clubs you have.
Okay.
So that's total clubs for your area.
Yep.
Some people have 5 clubs. Some people have 30 clubs.
Yep.
We just want to know the number of clubs that you have. And that is for middle and high school clubs.
Yep.
There are some people that do some other kids
Elementary
clubs.
school, yep.
And we are just wanting the numbers for middle and high school. So just to keep that clear. And that there also could be multiple clubs in one school.
Yep.
So it's fine to go ahead and count. If you have 3 clubs in one school, you can count 3 clubs.
Yep. And some people ask about that. They say, well, is that really fair? Is that, well, you've got 3 clubs. There's 3 lunches. There's 3 clubs. You have 3 groups of student leaders, 3 campus coaches, oftentimes 3 different teacher sponsors, because what teacher can take a 3 lunch break and do first priority? So you really are running 3 clubs in that school, and we want to count them as such.
Right.
So what's the second number you got there?
The second one is how many schools have influence.
Okay.
So that can mean, like we just talked about, how there are 3 clubs in one school. That's only one school with influence.
Yep.
But it could be that you have a middle school and a high school that are right next to each other.
Yep.
And so that club is combined and they have only one club,
In 2
but
schools.
they're actually in 2 schools.
Yeah.
So that's 2 schools with influence with only 1 club.
Yep.
So there's 2 different ways to look at that.
Yep.
I would say, the majority are there's 1 school with multiple clubs, but it does go the other way as well.
Correct. And that was an important distinction for us, especially as chapters and territories began to reach capacity. And all of a sudden there's more clubs than there were schools in the area that they were talking about. I'm like, what? How do you have more clubs than schools? And so that's just a clarifying thing there.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
You know what's next?
Next would be decisions for Christ.
Yeah.
So how many students made a decision? I know there's lots of words out there that people use, a decision, a commitment, salvations. How many students made a decision for Christ?
A first time
decision for Christ.
Yep.
And we want to make sure that when you are doing that monthly, obviously the first month you're going to put however many students made a decision.
Yeah.
The next month, though, it's a year-to-date number. We're going to keep increasing that number. So if there's 3 the first month and there's 4 the second month, then you're going to put 7 because you're going to add those numbers together. So
cool.
Just need to keep adding to the number you had the month before.
Yep. I love it. So what about church partnerships? We ask about that?
Yeah. We ask about how many churches are partnered with you. Whether that's through prayer, through supporting the club financially, supporting the club through students or youth pastors being involved in the club.
Yep.
You have more information about that.
I do. This is a new number that we started actually not asking for it until January of last year. So we've only been asking for this number for 9 months and really less than that because we haven't asked over the summer. But bringing that to light, we've always talked about being a strategy for the local church. And what does it mean to partner? And if somebody says, hey, we'll pray for you, is that partnership? Well, it is, but we've added some more. So if you go to the show notes, we'll link something to that. We have a document that we've wrestled with internally with our staff, with those in the district staff to say, what does church partnership look like? And in reality, it's as simple as they're participating with us, right? We're participating with them and training their students to lead in their faith. And hopefully their student ministry is growing because students are going to come to know Jesus and go back to their youth group, right? So it's a participation both directions, that we're participating with them in their church life and they're participating with us in getting the clubs started and running. So it's a participation award. Everybody loves those.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. One of the other ones there is club attendance in each club. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so we really want to know how many students are in your clubs.
Yep.
So it's really important that whoever is there in charge can get a head count of who's there.
Yep.
We really want to know, what students are coming, how many are coming each week. So when you're doing it for the monthly report, so for the staff people, we are taking the highest. So if you have 4 weeks of clubs, we are taking like the highest number for each club,
which should be invite week because they're inviting all their friends.
Should be invite week. So what you're doing is you're taking that highest number and you're adding the highest number from every single club. Yep.
So if you have 10 clubs and every one of them has 50 kids in it at invite week, and that all the other weeks it was 20 or 30. Now the invite week is 50. With 10 clubs, that's 500.
Right. So you're going to submit 500 for your number. Yep. You're not going to submit just the highest number for one club. We want for your total clubs.
Exactly. Yeah. And there are ways for us to track actually how many kids. You'd have to write down all their names every week and make sure you don't double up that Susie attended all 4 weeks, that kind of thing. We're not going to get into that.
No.
So invite week meeting or the highest meeting of the month. Add those together, and that's the attendance for that month.
Yep.
Sound good?
Sounds good.
What else we got? Students leading.
Yes, students leading.
So when you train, the students should know how to lead, but we also want to know, we specifically want to know how many students actually are leading. So whether they're welcoming at the door, whether they're speaking, whatever is going on, how many students do you have that are trained and leading their club? And so put that down there. We typically have 4,000 or 5,000 kids.
Yeah, we had over 5,000 this year.
But one of the beautiful things is that in the club cycle, the Epic cycle or the Hope cycle, whichever one that you're running, yes, you have training at the beginning that you train them how to share the gospel and to lead their cycle, their 4-week club cycle. But that's also what EPIC does and HOPE does. It's equipping them and preparing them, and they leading and inviting. And so if they're leading in their club, and by nature, they're going to be trained to share the gospel because they're leading in sharing the gospel, right?
Right.
And so how many students do you have leading in each one of those clubs? And that actually could make this number grow exponentially, changing a little bit of the way we're saying that this year. But yeah, we'll see where that goes.
That also is a year-to-date number.
Yeah.
So as you get new students leading, you don't want to count the ones that are already leading. You know, each month you're adding to it, just like the decisions.
Yep.
So you're going to be adding to that number if you have new students that are leading.
Correct.
So
you don't need to count Susie every week or every month, but yep, the new ones.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
And then there's also a story there or a line there for a God story.
Yep.
People can tell us what's going on in their
Yep.
chapter or district.
Yeah, and we love those because it's so important to get those, first of all, because, I mean, who doesn't love a great story?
Yeah.
You know, we want to hear these stories, but we also want to share these stories that you guys are experiencing. We want to be able to put those out there for others to be able to see and hear and know about. So we really want you guys to be sharing what's going on in your clubs.
Love it. Love it. So what about feedback? We have anything else with reporting? We good?
That's about it for reporting. I would say if you have any questions about anything we've talked about, just reach out to Brad or I.
Christina with a K.
Yep, Christina with a K. You will be seeing the monthly reports for the staff will be starting the end of September.
Yep.
The weekly sometimes comes sooner.
Well, the weekly club stuff should start the week your club starts.
Whenever the
So
club
if you haven't been
starts.
getting one and your club's been meeting, definitely reach out and we'll get that going for you. Cool.
Yep.
Sounds good. So as far as feedback goes, again, two-way street. We want information from you. We want to give you information. And so we want to know both from a district staff, and we're going to make a bigger differentiation here. District staff, you know, you're hired by First Party of America. You work for us. We want to know every Friday, how was your week? What was, and I'll just read them off here. What was one thing you thought, whether it was a dream, challenge, concern this week that you wish that your team at First Priority knew? So just kind of picking your brain a little bit. You know, there's challenges, there's dreams, there's opportunities, and sometimes they get missed, right? And whether we can help rise to the challenge or make a dream come true, the sky's the limit. So what is that one thought that you had this week? What is one thing that you wish FPoA did to help you accomplish your goals for the week? We set things out as district staff. Our role is raise funds to network the church and launch clubs.
Yep.
Right. Those are the big three things. And as you went through this week, we talk every week on level 10 meetings already, but now we're to the end of the week. And what is that one thing that you wish, man, I wish we had this or we did this or the team at First Priority could provide that. Oftentimes it's one of those God things that when you say it, we're all like, oh yeah, we were starting to think that way, but we haven't gotten there yet. Let's do that, right?
Yep.
So we're asking for that. Did you succeed in what God, and here's how I wrote it. This is a Brad question right here. Did you succeed in what God and Traction had for you to do this week?
It's a good one.
Is it a good one?
Yeah.
I kind of smiled when I put God and Traction.
Yeah. Should they go in the same sentence?
Is that the same thing? Yeah. I feel like it's not as religious of a question as it should be, but you know,
but we are a business and we need to
set goals and work for things and do that kind of stuff as well. What causes you to feel that way about your success? So did you succeed is a yes or no question, but I want to know why. I always want to know why. Why do you feel successful this week in what you did? And then we ask for your name so we know who you are, because when that happens, your direct report will get that. We're going to try and set up that automation. And I do use the word try so that your direct report will be the one that gets that information. And so you can just be communicating with your team and hopefully we can be getting better and the things that are in our hearts, minds, and souls can be communicated with each other. That's always one of the things as humans is effective communication. So again, this isn't a tool to, need something more from everybody, but it's how can we bridge that gap and stay in relationship, especially when we're in Nashville and Fort Worth and Tennessee 1 and Kansas City, Springfield, Cincinnati, all the different places where we're happening. So, and we're pretty much going to ask the same thing for our chapter directors, not all chapter staff, but the chapter directors, the lead in a chapter, pretty much going to ask the same thing, just the middle of the month. So phrasing it in a way, what is one thing that you thought, dream, challenge, or concern, again, that you had this month that you wish First Priority knew nationally? Kind of phrasing it just a little bit different. What is one thing that you wish FPoA did the last 30 days to help you accomplish your goals? Did you succeed in what God has called you to do with First Priority over the past 30 days? And I didn't add traction because not everybody's doing traction with the chapter staff. That's fine. And what causes you to feel that way about your success? So just asking those questions. What can we do as a support center here in Nashville? What can your direct reports do for you? And just getting that feedback on a district level every week, on a chapter level once a month, and just trying to get better. And reach more kids with the gospel.
That's our goal.
That is our goal. That's why we do what we do. Right? So any parting thoughts, comments, encouragement for me? Because you say nice things to me on the podcast.
Well, I do think that feedback thing, I think that's going to be a game changer. I think it's going to be really cool for people to be able to express what is going well, what they need, their desires, their wants. I think that's going to be great. But I mean, I would just say, I know you guys are all busy. We're all busy all the time, but reporting is just so important because, we do this because of changed lives, but that's our ultimate goal. But we need that reporting to be able to see, what we're doing right and how to move forward and how to expand. And there's just so much that is helpful when we get the reports from you guys. So please report each month.
Well, and that brings me, we're working already, and this, I can't even believe I'm saying this, but we're working on next year's Epic material already with a ministry called One Hope. And we're going to pilot next year in 6 to 10 schools, and we're going to get feedback from them and work through things. The feedback in reporting, if you will, is there so that we can say, okay, what went well, what didn't go well? How can we make this better before it gets into, hopefully by then, over 1,000 clubs, right? Let's pilot this in 6 to 10, see what happens, see what God does. And if we can increase the effectiveness of that a little bit, then next year when it's in 1,000 clubs, we're going to be able to see even more kids come to know Jesus. And so I think the same is true, even though it's not a pilot and we're all running the Epic Foundations or the Hope materials this year, the more feedback we can get, hopefully the more fruit we can bear. Right? So
just trying to make things better each year.
That's right. Well, thanks for joining me today.
Yeah,
I'm going to have you on more often. I feel very encouraged.
Good. I'm glad.
Yeah. So, Steve, everybody listening, thanks for listening. And I hope this was enjoyable, beneficial to you and the movement that you're leading. Again, if you have any questions, Brad at fpofamerica.com or Kristina with a K. And we'd love to help and be a part of what you're doing locally. All right?
All
right. See you next week.
See you next week.
Really? Promise?
Maybe.
Promise?